It's Friday the 2nd of May 2025 and I've come up to the lakes for my first walk this year, in particular up to Grasmere. I've parked by the side of the A591 here, and today's aim is to get up to Helm Crag, along the ridge to Gibson Knott, up onto Crag and then round to Steel Fell. Steel Fell's the only one of the 4 fells that I'm doing today that I haven't done before. So yeah, we'll see how we go. It's a little cooler this morning after the last few days of really warm weather. It's decidedly chillier this morning, but it's still beautiful. And there's the aim of today's walk, Helm Crag. That's the lion, the lamb there. The actual summit's a little bit further on. So right, I'm going to make my way back down south towards the village. Just before you get to the Swan Hotel, which is just a little further down the road here, I'm going to turn off down the lane here. This is Pye Lane. It takes you down past the little church. Or should I say the cemetery. And that's a particularly lovely view from the cemetery gates here, looking up to the lion and the lamb. I'll just have a little way of walking along the B5287 here until we get to a bridge over Easdale Beck. Just get to the end of the bridge here and turn right into woodland. Try not to get knocked down by the Keswick bus. Here we go. Yeah, there's a definite chill to the breeze this morning. And it's a good few degrees cooler than it was yesterday. But this has got to be one of the loveliest parts of the start to walk of any walk in the Lake District, through this little woodland here. Really very, very pleasant. He's Dale Beck down below. Yeah, lovely start. And at this moment, walking along this woodland path, you're actually walking away from Helm Crag. Seems a little bit odd. So I'm just going to make my way down to the road and turn right. Some 50 or 60 yards after you join the road, you can actually come off on this little permitted path here, which just keeps you off the road for a few hundred yards or so. Just off to the right of the path here is Stone Arthur. Another of the Wainwrights, and we're now walking back in the direction of Helm Crag. Right, just going back on the road again for a short way. Right, after a couple of 100 yards or so, the road has been walking along turns right, but I'm going to come off now, left over this bridge, once again over Easdale Beck. This is a decent little spot. Almost immediately after you've crossed the footbridge, there's another little stone bridge here which you cross. Quite cute. And again, more lovely views off to the right. If I were to carry on along this path, it would eventually take me up to Easdale Tarn. You may be able to see, doubtful in this camera, the little white track running up to the fell there. But yeah, I'm going to turn off over New Bridge and head off across the fields here. And again, just going over Easdale Beck. It's an obvious path across the field. The little path brings you out onto a lane and you turn almost immediately right to Helm Crag and for Easdale. Don't really think there's any need for that sign, but you never know. Right, you've had your fun with a nice easy stroll through woodland and across fields. Now this is where the grunt work starts. And I must admit, I've never been up to, well, I've been up to Helm Crag several times before, but I've never been up clockwise. Always come up anti-clockwise from the other side of the ridge. So this will be interesting. Right, at this point the path heads that way to for Easdale, downhill, as the Lord have it. We are going uphill to Helm Crag, which is a mile off, and a rather steep mile at that. I think we've got something of a lost soul up here. To this point the path is stepped for most of the way, but it is very steep, but it does give the opportunity to have a rest, and as you get higher the view behind gets even better. And we carry on somewhat more gently until we get to the corner there and think it's going to rise again. And this is the view I've been enjoying while I've been getting changed. That's behind me. Off to the left, you can go to Grasmere. And directly ahead. So now I'm all sorted. We're heading off up here. It's got a little flat section coming up, but then we're climbing once again. That's the path I've come up, and a view over Grasmere. The jets are out this morning, so just a couple just flown up, 2 fighters along the valley here. Didn't have my camera out in time, unfortunately. And that's looking up towards the Fairfield Horseshoe. I think this could possibly be Sea Sandal, maybe? I don't know. Once again, the further up you go, the better the views. Lovely view down over Grasmere there. Crag Fell, just behind. And would this over here then be Silver Howe, perhaps? And I'm now on the final push up to the Lion and the Lamb, and I think just in the centre of the picture there, the very top, could be the Lion. Check that when I get up there. That's the way onward along the ridge. For the moment, here I am at the Lion and the Lamb, and this is indeed the Lion. So I suppose I better do the customary thing and go and climb it. Right, up we go then. Sounds like some more jets coming over. Over the far side. It's going over the Fairfield Horseshoe. 2 of them, further and further on. And from here on top of the Lion, just across, is the Howitzer, which is the true summit of Helm Crag. While I was sitting on top of the Lion, a couple of more jets flew up the valley. So that's 6 I've seen now, and haven't managed to capture any. And here is the beast. the howitzer summit of Helm Crag. The purists will tell you that you haven't bagged Helm Crag unless you've been to the top of that. I have been up once before, so I don't need to go up again. I'll put a video on the screen now. Needless to say, it's the speeded up version. But yeah, it's quite an interesting climb up there, and it's the one Wainwright which Alfred Wainwright himself didn't get to the top of. So he can't claim to have bagged all 214 Wainwrights, unfortunately. But yeah, interesting place. And much closer to the Lion and the Lamb than I remember. Sounds like there might be more jets coming up. This camera won't catch them, unfortunately. No, perhaps not. Where is there? Oh yes, going over the top of Fairfield Horseshoe. Now you won't see it in this camera, unfortunately. Could be Great Rig, I suppose, it's just gone over. So I shall have 10 minutes here, I think. Looking down to Dunmail Rays in the valley there. The howitzer is also called the old lady playing the organ, and from some angles, which is this is one of them, that would seem to be it. I think the old lady is on the left here, and this is the organ. That's seen much more obvious seen from further away, but seen from the different angles, it is quite an impressive beast. Looking across to the Lion and the Lamb, the Lamb is just below the Lion to the left. And that's quite a view looking down to Dunmail Rays. Right, so having done Helm Crag, let's get across the ridge to Gibson Knott. That's the next Wainwright. Unfortunately, you have to lose quite a lot of height coming down from Helm Crag, only to have to gain it again going up onto Gibson Knott. But that's the way of these things. And yeah, there's quite a bit of a breeze on top of Helm Crag. So all the heat that I'd gained coming up to Helm Crag I've now lost. So the fleece has had to go back on. This is a real switchback going along this path, and quite a drop off down to your left. But another 30-40 yards I'll be climbing yet again. You may just be able to pick out the thin trod coming down direct from Helm Crag. I've come along and now I'm just below Gibson Knott, so let's get up there and perhaps have some lunch. And there ahead, in the middle of the picture, is the cairn on the summit of Gibson Knott. The summit cairn's just out of view, but I'm on the final push up now. And here I am approaching the summit of Gibson Knott, 1,381 feet. Here we are. Two down, two to go. And yeah, lovely view from up here. It being about 11:30, I think I'll probably have some lunch here. Back down to Grasmere. And onward up to Helm Crag. There are a couple of paths. It would seem one down here behind me and one runs around the bottom. So I suppose you could skirt Gibson Knott if you so wanted, but it's a shame to do so. From here on Gibson Knott, there's a view back down to Grasmere. That's a lovely view down into Fort Easdale. Just down in the bottom here, perhaps the middle of the picture, is a bridge that you cross either to go up to Easdale Tarn or to carry on to Fort Easdale. Up that way. Across out to Easdale Tarn. The main fell in the middle of the picture there, maybe Sergeant Mann perhaps. Right, that's Gibson Knott done and dusted. Let's get off to Helm Crag. There's a couple of paths around here now, which one do I take? I'll have to consult the map, I think. Oh, fortunately I don't have to go over that thing. The path runs around the left hand side and then it's a climb up to Pike of Cars and Helm Crag. It was at this point that I realised that I'd lost my microphone. I think I'm saying at this section that this was a horrible little bit to come down, but looking ahead seemed to be much better, and that at least I didn't have to go over this lump. And also I think I was saying that what I've been referring to as a lump was actually Moment Crag. Well, someone is definitely looking after me today, I must admit. I came to film what I've been calling that lump a couple of minutes ago and realised that my microphone receiver wasn't attached to the chest bag, and well, thought I'd lost it. I thought, well, I can't go back and get it. I turned around, I saw a little black speck on the path, but that turned out to be sheep poo. And just as I was about to turn around and carry on, chap behind me waved at me, asked me if this was his, this was mine, and produced a microphone. Gentleman all the way from the United States with his wife, so very grateful to him for finding that. I don't know how he found it, but well done. So yeah, thanks very much for that. So, as I said, I don't know how much audio I've missed with having lost the microphone for a time. Couldn't be for too long, I don't think. So I'm going to have to do a voiceover to cover that bit. Right, that's the way next. I think I'm heading up to Pike of Cars now, and then on to Calf Crag after that. Well, look at that for a view, looking down for Easdale to Grasmere, then across the ridge to Gibson Knott and Helm Crag. Right, I'm stood on top of Cars now. This outcrop here. I don't think it's Pike of Cars, although it is a damn good viewpoint. But I'm just wondering if Pike of Cars is perhaps behind me. Now, I don't know that I'm going up there, to be honest. I've just seen the chap walking along below this outcrop here, so I may just follow him. Right, well, Calf Crag is in sight now, if be somewhat distant. I think you might just be able to see a little figure moving on top of there. He passed me 10-15 minutes ago. So he's got up there pretty quickly. He's just heading towards the summit. The summit's right on the edge of this little knobbly bit here. So to get at it, I've got to go down here and then up and round. And here I am at last. Just the final few yards up onto Calf Crag. I've been here once before, must be some 10 years or more with my son Stephen. We came up here that day, we came up from for Easdale up to Calf Crag and then back over Gibson Knott and Helm Crag. So yeah, nice to be up here again. Here we are, and again another stunning view from up here. So I'll just have 10 minutes or so up here, and then I'll clear off across out here somewhere. There's a body of water there, you can see just past that, and then along the ridge up over onto Steel Fell. Dead Pike is the summit there, and then down back to the NF 591. Right, I'm heading for Steel Fell now, and the reason I wanted to come and do this walk today, particularly after more than a week of nice weather, was because I've read that this path across here is really boggy. And I thought that perhaps having had little or no rain for the last week or more, it may not be quite as bad as it would be after rain, so we shall see. This is one of two large tarns that there are along here. My instructions are to stay to the right of them. So that's what I'll do. And that I presume is going up the hill here. Could go around the bottom of course, but I'll see. I've decided to stick to the lower path, which gives you a closer look at the tarn. And not long after passing the first tarn, just a matter of 50 or 60 yards, you come to the second one. This is not quite as big. Even got ducks in this one. That's a pretty impressive outcrop up there. And this is what's off to my left. And the head. Well, by taking what's referred to as the popular path, which keeps to the right of the two torrents, I've kept my feet pretty much dry. I don't know what it would be like after heavy rain, but yeah, good today. Not a problem up to now. I'm now making my way to Dead Pike, which, as I said before, is the official summit of Steel Fell. You meet some really nice people when you're out hiking. Just stopped for 2 minutes and had a chat with these three chaps who were coming down from Steel Fell. Yeah, it's just nice how people stop and talk to you. Doesn't always happen, of course, but the majority of times it does. Well, it was all going so well, and then you come to something like this. Could be a jump across, I suppose. We'll see. So, here I am, eventually, at the top of Steel Fell. And yeah, with that view, cracking view. So this is the last Wainwright of the day. And the only one that I haven't done before. So I'm quite pleased I've got up here. Yeah, it's a view and a half from up here as well. Looking right up through here. Across to Helm range. And down there where I'll be heading on my way back. I've just stepped off the path to the left and there's a beautiful view through my reservoir. That's the Helm range up there. Right, that's all the Wainwright's done today, so I'll make the steep drop down now back to the A591 and the car. That was thoroughly enjoyable. Well, that top section wasn't very pleasant at all. In fact, it was horrible. But this looks to be anything but. Coming down here at least to the end here. And you've got a lovely view all the way down to the 591. And over to Helm Crag, of course. So looking forward to this. I've just come off the path slightly because I just want to get to this little viewpoint here and get a video of the howitzer and the Lion and the Lamb. There we go, the howitzer and the Lion and the Lamb where we started this afternoon. That's the first Wainwright I did. And dropping off down here is the path we'll be taking back. And that's just looking back at the way I've dropped down. Still a way to go yet. That's nice, strong springs on that. Some lovely pine trees I would think they are on the lower slopes of Helm Crag. And it looks like some nice shade coming up ahead. The trees and the shade I was hoping to get to are on private land. Unfortunately, didn't look that way from back up there. But yeah, just nip down through this gate now. And that was a tough enough walk for the first one this year. I must admit it was a little tougher than I'd expected. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. And a good test of my fitness. And just shows that I'm not quite there yet. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that, and this is lovely now, this bit of shade down here. Nice view off to the left. Yeah, very nice too. Right, I'm making my way back to the car now. I think I'd just go a short way along the road, but we'll see. Ah, two little ones. Nice to see. That's a nice signpost. It's about time we started doing things like this in this country. Properly signing the long distance paths. And just a few yards further, another nice new signpost pointing the way back across the fields. over the stepping stone, no doubt. And across the field, I would assume. The path across the field is going to come out just by the Traveller's Rest, and then I'll have to walk the rest of the way down the road. So yeah, that's been a thoroughly enjoyable walk and beautiful weather to go with it.